Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This video is going to be very important for all of those who want to understand what is the role of data bureau in credit risk. Whenever you are preparing any model for any of the bank, you always get the data from these data bureau. And the data bureaus are very commonly named as like TransUnion, Equifax, Experian and all of that, right? So now let me take you forward. Let's talk about this particular topic much more in detail because I was getting so many comments. Please explain about data bureau and how we get the data from data bureau. Okay. Now, when you talk about data bureau, it's consisting of two words, data and bureau, obviously. So there is a company which we call as a bureau. They are providing us the data. That's why it's known as a data bureau. And in US, there are three major data bureaus. Let me write the name. Equifax, number one, Experian, and TransUnion. Now, let's say I am a bank. Okay, so let's say my name is SBI, or from US, let's say I am Citibank. So this is one entity. All these banks are majorly doing business of what, like loan, credit cards. That is the most profitable business for these banks. Now when they give the loan, so before giving the loan they need to understand the background of the person who's taking the loan. On the same level, to understand the background, sometime those customers have the bank account, savings account or FD, but some of the customers who are totally new to the bank, they don't have any details shared with the bank already. So let's say I am the customer, Rajat. So now here are two parties in the picture at the moment. One is the bank, second is the customer. Now when I give the loan to Rajat, I need to check whether that person I'm giving the loan will be able to pay back the loan or not. So here comes data bureau in picture, because I wanted to understand what is the credit history of Rajat. Credit history. Like what type of person is Rajat? Like whether he has not defaulted any other loan with any other bank, or whether he was able to pay the money in the previous loan or not, whether how much he is earning, what is his capability in terms of defaulting the loan. It should not be the case that we are giving him 1 crore loan and he is not able to pay it back. So simple. Now I want the credit history. This is what the term is used in the industry. Okay. To get this credit history, bank need to reach out to these bureau. Now these bureau have the data. So now let me tell you. Let's say I take the example of Equifax. Equifax has the customer data. Now he will be in touch with bank. How bank purchase the data? Let me explain that to you now. Bank goes to Equifax. I want the data of this 1000 customer. Equifax says for these 1000 customers, let's say out of that Rajat is one, for example. So out of this 1000 customer, what are the variables you want? So bureau will ask number of variables. How many variable you want? Now bank says, let's say I need only specific 15 variable. Okay. Let's say salary, previous salary records, then delinquency buckets, or address, past address, as in like in past 10 years, how many address the customer has changed. So similar like this, the bank says that I want 15 variables from you. Okay. Now what bureau will say, for this 15 variable for 1000 customer, so I will charge, let's say $10,000. Now bank will think again, obviously, because $10,000 bank need to pay to buy the data. So bank will say, no, you don't give me 15 variable. Bank will do assessment. They will say, no, I only need 12 variables. So they will obviously remove some unnecessary variable which have very less weightage in your model. So this can happen, okay? So bank will say, no, only finalize, these are the 12 variables which I need. So so this data bureau will say, okay, so you pay me 8,500. Okay. Now bank will do this payment. This will go to bureau. And bureau will share the data with bank now. That's how this whole process works, okay? And how the data sharing happens, data is not something like they will sell or they are going to put the data in a bucket and they are going to give, okay? So it's always EFT. Bank will always take usually data in EFT format. What is EFT? Electronic file transfer. Electronic file transfer. So EFT is a protocol, okay? Usually the bureau, this is bureau, has a system. What is the meaning of system? A software or a portal. Similarly, now bank have a system. So bank don't have a system, so bank will set up the system, okay? Now this will ask the data to bureau. So bank ask the data. Now bureau will do a EFT, electronic file transfer, in the form of, let's say, text file. So all those text file will have the client information. Then bank will receive all this data on their server. That's how bank, you have the data in the server. Now bank will use this data from server, or they will download all those file. There will be multiple team, obviously they will be downloading all these files from the server, okay? Now what bank will do, we are talking about scorecard models or like any predictive model. So bank will use this server data, which is the bureau data, plus the application data. When the customer applied the loan, they filled the application form, they will match the application data, plus if the customer is an old customer in the bank, they will check the performance data. We call it perf data in banking. So when bank combine all these, this is known as the complete input data for your model. That's how this whole workflow works, okay? Now, from Google, I can show you how these websites works, but I have also prepared one data overall with the help of Google. So let me show it to you. See, this is the data, okay? Now this is obviously a dummy data, but in this format sometime you will see the data lying on the server. What is the format talking about? There will be a proper definition. Let me copy all this data. See, this is a text file. So that's why I wanted to show you that the bureau will send the data 99% in the form of text file or a Parquet file also, or CSV also. But text is usually they prefer. Okay. Now I just copy all this data, put it in our discussion point. Let me paste it here. And I think the font is small for you. Let me make the font also big. Then we'll talk about it. I'll explain it. This one should be good. Okay. Now let's say this was the text. So this was line number 1, line number 2, line number 3, line number 4, similarly till this point. Only this much data you will receive from bank, the one which I am highlighting. This data the bank will be getting from the bureau. Now, how bank need to decode, or I as a programmer, how I need to decode this data? So bureau will send me a guide. Bureau, when they are giving me the data, they will send me the data decode guide. This guide is usually a PDF document or a Word document or any other format it can be, but the core objective is to define that on which column you will find which particular, on which line, which position you will find the particular column. Okay. Now let's say they tell in this document that on line number 2, this is my line number 2, from position number 1 till position number this. So 1 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there is a blank also. So line number 2, position number 1 to position number 7, you will find the customer name. Okay, so this is what I have decoded. Let's go down. Now you can see the data. Okay, there are some numerical variables here. Then this is the address, all this dummy. Okay, then South extension Delhi, and then the data analyst, which may be the job and the company name, his bank account, like earlier bank account number, then some other details. So now let me go down and explain to you like what are the details are there. So let's say line number 1, this is talking about, this is the data definition from here, which is the part of the document given by the bureau. This is data definition, so that you need to read all this data in your code, obviously the data which you are getting. So either you will use SAS as a software in analytics, or you will use Python, you will use Pandas. All these tools are heavily used, obviously. Now in line number 1, if you see, this is full record. In this full record, this particular value is unique ID or PAN number of the customer. Then this is the reporting date, which is July 24 in this case. Then location of the customer. Then this was the name of the customer, first name plus initial. Then this was the placeholder like date of birth, PAN number, gender. Then mask was SSN, social security number, which is in US. In India you have Aadhaar number, in US you have SSN. Then his current address, then his previous address. So all these details are part of the bureau data. That's why bank is paying to this bureau. Okay, now his job related data information, like he was a data analyst with this company, starting date of the employment, his current role is data analyst, then current employer, his bank account number, account open date, lender name, merchant name, transaction ID, all those columns which bank wanted for this particular customer. Okay, now by the end, if you see, you have so many variables. So let's say we ask for this 15 variables in short, and bank paid obviously money for all this data. Okay, that's how this credit bureau make profit, and bank also make profit by disbursing the loan. Okay, I hope this video was helpful to all of you, and this was the overall role of all these data bureau in credit risk domain. That's why all these bank pay all these credit bureau, and if you're getting a job offer from all these credit bureau, always join them. They have good value in market. Okay, on that note, if you like my video, please hit the like button, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. All the best everybody. Thank you.